Mayor, I just turned us to live whenever you're ready.
Oh, thanks, yeah, I appreciate it. We still got a couple minutes.
Sure, but the Zoom
My
is,
computer needs to warm up, it was in my car. It's like-
the good news.
And,
What's that?
I got your text late today.
Oh, it's okay, I was on the treadmill, like, just pasting that to everybody on council, so I was consistent.
Watch my catch up.
And I wanted to, I mean, we're gonna bring it up mayor and council about the water,
Which I
like,
can't ignore.
Because
Whatever his question is, I'll talk to him after the meeting.
The other issues.
Yeah, well,
And then,
The ones that
exception I
got
saw,
already
just letting you know, hey, you got no audio. So it was weird.
Because
We're not weird.
it's icy patches.
Yeah, normally by now, we've already gone up there at least once to check on them.
Wow. Do you want me to send that up, like, have him take pictures?
Yeah, but not,
No one sure what the road is, you know, as far as.
He would hike.
Yeah, hiking is not bad, I've walked.
Sure.
So I think it was-
Yeah.
No, it's not too bad.
I'm just curious to figure out what he wants to do with that.
With what?
Anyway, so this like.
By the way, congratulations, dude. About time, yeah. I was very excited to hear.
That was the improvement.
Oh, that you're married.
I've heard about a budget.
I think it's awesome, I'm very excited for you. I'm very happy that you're gonna be the guy.
I am too.
And I tried to read a lot of your fire packet, I really did.
Okay.
I had so many questions, but too many for one meeting, so.
In your packet makes me think, I want to be how do we help residents towards getting through this?
Getting what?
Like, how do we help residents fund some of this fire?
We don't have insurance because they're not gonna have insurance.
Oh, so
But like, how can the city help? Can we use some parking
Well,
funds?
Jimmy's point is, that's the point, it's like, how do we've already been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, we have.
I'm right, right, like, people living in Georgetown policy.
Right,
I wanna talk to my insurance, but I'm afraid to talk to them.
well, what I'd like to do on Wall Street is get rid of all the deadwood on the, we had, I don't know if you noticed behind our
Enough
house.
about me. Ow, sorry, it was low hanging.
No, but you probably could see it from your backyard, did you see the big huge tree
Yeah,
that came down behind our house?
I have seen it, yes.
It was like, and guess I was at work and I came home and I was like, it looks different on this hill. I'm not observant I am, I'm like, I'm the giant.
Hey, it's 6:30 and I would like to welcome everybody to the Monday, January 26, 2026, Idaho Springs City, work session. We do have 3 items, however, a bonus item. For those, folks online, I wanted to, say, a big congratulations to our own Jeremy Jones for being our new fire chief. Great.
3 weeks for that.
It was on
All
Facebook, now the world.
I heard.
Yeah,
right.
Now it'll travel
Hey,
lightning
like,
speed.
McDonald's startled in that picture.
And first up, we've got parking space sizes. Dylan, come on up and welcome.
Sure, thanks. So, I don't know, a month or two ago, Andy asked me to look into this a little bit about the potential change to our minimum parking space widths. Right now, it's 9-foot width. There's a number of communities that allow 8.5.
Oh, that's me. I'm busy yelling at everybody else and it's me. Sorry. It's like, what the hell?
But yeah, like I know the Denver metro area is 8.5.
Yeah, I'd say like looking at a bunch of places, I'd say it's 50-50, one or the other. And so the upside to potentially reducing the size would be you could probably get, and I measured just the back 2 lots, you get at least another 10 spaces just from restriping those lots. And then it also would work well for private developers who have to provide off-street parking if you're able to get 6 inches thinner, or the width 6 inches narrower. That could reduce the amount of impervious surface or allow them to fit more parking. It's not a huge increase, but it's a pretty small change in order to fit a little bit more parking. The other thing I thought of when researching this is we don't have any standards for compact parking spaces. A lot of places do. Denver, for example, allows 7.5 foot wide. compact spaces and they allow up to 10% of homes or spaces in a lot to be compact. That's a way to, maybe fit it into hot spaces or things like that. So I took it to planning commission there on board, there was concern that we're just gonna have things on car doors because people already don't park great and that's the extra 6 inches could cause problems, but otherwise they're on board. So with direction on whether we should proceed, I will take an ordinance to the next planning commission meeting.
I have always been amazed that when we go down to Denver, which can build to Kansas, we somehow manage in the 8.5-foot spaces. I'm not saying it's luxurious, but we manage. But then they get to come up here where the space is such a premium and have relatively spacious spaces. That's always kind of surprised me. And I know you had mentioned maybe, 10 to 12 in the main lot behind her. But I know there's a bunch of there's several areas on Colorado Boulevard that we didn't put a third space in because we were like a foot short.
Right.
Kind of thing too. And I know there are people that abuse the compact space and you see some F-150 sitting in there, but by and large, it works. And there is, Flo Rattado sent us, in fact, you may get an email on this. In February, there is a free seminar about cities getting more with what they have. And to me, this seems like a no-brainer. I'm not surprised planning commission thought it was all right, because it does seem like a way that we could get more out of what we have. Asphalt's really at a premium here. And I know I'm not pointing fingers, but I'll give you an example. 4 Points and the Argo already have their lots. So that's done. So if they striped it, the Argo is 157. If it stripes out 162, then fine. They were able to park 5 more cars. The 4 Points was 181. I think they are 181. If that stripes out, 186, well, then, they got 5 more cars. That's
Right.
That's not so bad.
Didn't cost that much to do.
Well, since lots are done, and they may want to wait until they restripe or something, and I know, usually when we restripe the main lot, it's typically after a winter, just because you get a lot of grinding and slush and stuff like that, so. Anyways, I'm gonna go around and see how everybody feels. Lisa, your thoughts?
I had a question,
Sure.
would the spaces on Colorado Boulevard, would those be restriped too? Or
Like
are
the
you
parallel
just,
parking ones?
Parallel parking, it doesn't really make, I guess, theoretically, it doesn't really make a difference.
because it's not
the
narrow,
car
it's
is
just
parked.
length?
Yeah, and length,
It's like, you could fit another half a car back behind where I just parked. I actually thought I was in 2 spaces and then I was like, oh, this is.
Well, these
only
I
little
one
cars,
I
space.
didn't check
Yeah.
mine too, I was like, oh,
I know Denver's 18 and a half,
I know.
and
ours is 18 feet. Or, yeah,
I thought we were
I know we
20.
have a lot of
actually, let me.
trucks and campers and
No,
tourist vehicles up
ours is-
here, but I
Mhm.
don't know. I just
But we
didn't-
have an oversized parking area, right?
We do not have
Where we,
Oh, we don't have a link?
a length requirement for parallel spaces.
Oh, wow.
Just
All right. I'm glad
Well,
we.
it says your report says the city allowed for habitat to do compact spaces that were 8 by 16. So 16 would be for a compact.
Right,
So
but
you could do compact parking only on the parallel parking and do that compact only? Would that be something that's possible?
potentially, what a lot of communities do is like cap the number you have.
Like
because
10 or
you
20%.
Don't want,
I've noticed that
because
people that. have
these
smaller
days, like my car could fit into a compact space. and
Yeah,
that's good.
mine too. Yeah.
But like an F-150.
No.
So
Yes, too.
I haven't considered, or I didn't really look into actually change the length, but I don't know that there's anywhere other than parallel spaces, which kind of need the length to back in properly. I don't know that it would increase spaces anywhere else.
I would actually prefer, so when you're asking me, I would prefer not to decrease the length on Colorado Boulevard, only because we do get a lot of big trucks and campers and people pulling trailers or whatever, and they end up on Colorado. Which I think, if you look at our parking lots, is the best place for them. Like, I think it's the safest for them, I think it's the safest for other cars.
Do they have to pay for 2 spaces when they pull up a truck with a camper and they're taking up 2 or 3 spaces? Do they
Should.
pay for 2 or 3 spaces, or do they just pay for 1?
I believe they just pay for one.
So they have 2 license plates, do they register 2 license plates?
They do.
Pay for,
They do.
pay for both, they
Your
should?
trailer, your camper is registered separately.
I did have somebody ask me, I don't remember.
We use direct oversized vehicles, or there's like a space, right? Is it the one over there? I feel like I've seen something that's like for oversized.
In our parking plan that we adopted last spring, I guess it was, we had designated that area at 103 as an oversized space, but we haven't striped. So functionally, we don't really have any over there. There's still a few there on Colorado Boulevard near the horseshoe pits. And there's maybe.
Those are usually taken up by rafting.
Right.
Definitely not by Horseshoe Works.
Yeah, definitely not.
Line forms to the west.
But when we do restripe that lot, I think we should reconfigure it,
Not that they're gonna park over there, but just having designated oversized spaces.
right? And part of the idea of designating that ahead of time was for this wayfinding study that's being done right now and is getting pretty close to being finished. Was that we can then better direct people through a phased signage program.
And I
to-
think Colorado Boulevard actually that's a good idea because it really doesn't matter if they're wide construction vehicles even, you know, I mean, if they were 9 feet even, you know, well, they can't be 9 feet, sorry, 8.5 feet's maximum on vehicles, but, you know, and 20 feet long. I think that probably is a good idea. And Sharon, I just want to bring up, we don't always agree with planning. So that's why I bounce it off council because, you know, we do have the option of going another route. I would say probably most of the time we go with planning and, but anyways, I'm just going around and I want to hear what everybody has to say about it. Jeremy, your feelings?
No issue with actually going 8.5 foot on the spot, on the parking spot. We probably should have happened years ago, but it's all different.
Yeah. Sharon, your thoughts?
I think it makes sense to go a little bit more narrow if means we have more parking. I do think that it would be wise if we did have an actual oversized parking, just we have so many huge people that come through here that don't know how to park and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Colorado Boulevard might be a good answer because it's not a bad walk
No,
to
it's not.
downtown.
And it's
so.
easy for them to pull in and pull out.
Yeah.
And if that was just designated, because there's I mean, now that residents can park anywhere we want to, we don't necessarily need to have so many designated residential spots right there next to, like, across from the Elks and between 15th and 16th right there.
That more commercial area.
And that could be a really good.
That would be a great spot for it, actually. I'm curious, like, somebody brought it up. Do they have to pay for 2 spots if they're in 2 spots?
That's good.
I doubt it's being enforced. I don't know that we have it written anywhere specifically.
I haven't
That's a
had
question.
anybody complain to me that they ever received a ticket over it.
So maybe they're not doing it, maybe they just.
Yeah, so I'm leaning towards Dylan's thought that I don't think it's enforced. I haven't heard
I don't.
of anybody getting a ticket.
Yeah, I mean,
This one, I
have trailers all the time on our car, so I've never had to pay double, so
Yeah.
I would imagine it's not a thing.
Yeah, well, but Kate, your thoughts?
You know, honestly, this is not I don't care. I drive a compact car, I can literally park in a bike.
I do too.
And like, I can't even drive the big car, I'm like, this is too big, I can't do it.
Jane?
Yeah, I mean, I think parking continues to be a major issue and getting as many parking spaces as we can. So whatever we can do to chip away at the situation. I would be in support of putting the oversized vehicles over there then. Literally all you have to do is walk across. We expect the elementary kids to do it.
Right.
Visiting the town.
Well, actually, it's a really good
And
point.
cross the road.
That's actually an
Well-
excellent
And
point.
then you don't have people taking up 2 spaces, because I do think every space matters. We know
Yes,
that, but
yes.
we know that's important to our business community.
It
So
does. And the second part of Dylan's is how do people feel if we had, say, 10 or 20% for compact vehicles only?
I think that a good question for that would be to somebody or maybe ask the parking authority to do a rough call and see how many compact cars actually come to the mountains. Cause I don't drive my compact car into the mountains, right? I go down to Denver with it. If I go into the mountains, I drive a truck.
Think of how many rental cars are compact cars.
I'm just,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm curious,
Send them up
I
here
have to
and
say that eyeballing it, I'm downtown all the time.
Mhm.
I don't see a lot of compact cars. So, I mean,
Right.
10% might be much more, than 20. Just because we want people to use the parking and let it be available. But that's just my opinion.
And I'm only asking because there may be some areas where it made a difference of having another spot if each spot wasn't, say, 20 feet. I'm with Janine, like you can get another half a vehicle behind mine right now.
Well, and but that's like right here in front of City Hall. We could actually probably do that.
Oh, yeah.
We could probably get a compact spot right here on the corner and just call it a day
Yeah,
on
those
that
are
one.
long.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty
Personally,
long.
for city parking, I would expect that's really what we use these compact spaces for, is like, let's fit in another spot in a weird area or whatever. Where a percentage makes sense is for private developers. Because if I'm a private developer, well, let's make them all compact spaces, and now we only have to pay this. little bit.
That's a good point. So for the purposes of this exercise tonight, would everybody be all right if we had compact spaces where it allowed the city to get an additional spot?
Sure,
That might be a better way.
but I wouldn't do it with a developer.
I'm with you because I do
Right.
worry that Dylan is spot on and people would say, well, then every one of them is a compact.
And then every
spot.
truck is parking on the street.
Right,
Can
exactly.
you do just a percentage for developers as well?
I mean, we could write it, I guess we could write the ordinance either way. We could say, for private development, you're allowed 5% or 10%, or we can just say we could define compact spaces, but they're not allowed to count towards your off-street parking. I don't see why that wouldn't be legal.
Mhm.
So I think,
Carmen's eyebrows aren't raising.
So Lisa, you're okay
I'm okay with that.
with that wording, Jeremy? Okay, Sharon?
Yep.
All right, it's unanimous. Do you need any further direction, Dylan?
I don't think so. Carmen and Nick and I will work to draft
Okay.
an ordinance and have.
All right.
the Planning commission and then bring it.
All right, well, thank you.
Mayor?
Yes,
If I may, Dylan, do you think we should have a parallel parking space size in the code? Do you think we should codify that as well while we're at doing this update? Because you said there's no standard now.
Right,
Is that right?
which I suppose would mean that we would just have to have it be at least 18 feet.
Right.
Or we just define it as it's any other parking space, so it'd be, if we change it, it'd be 8.5 by 18.
I'm just wondering if maybe that might be a good cleanup while we're doing this.
all right.
It could be like to not exceed 18, it could be anywhere from 14 to 18. That kind of a,
Well, that, and I was also wondering if maybe we ought to think about an oversize standard. We want to think about that as well. I'm not trying to complicate things, but
Because we're probably the only ones that are gonna deal with oversized, as just as the city worried about, or somebody's gonna park an F-350.
right.
You know, we may direct them to either the 103 lot or Colorado Boulevard.
I mean, we do have the oversized spots down here by the visitor center. But then we've talked about more oversized spots over on Highway 103 lot, but we haven't really determined what those should be. I think they're designed to be like, for a bus size. I mean, we think oversized, we think, F-150, but I'm talking about, bigger.
Right.
Vehicles and bigger,
Well,
like a drive-through space.
what I've seen elsewhere is they basically just say oversized is a double the width or length of your
You
traditional
want to keep it
space.
simple and
Gotcha.
maybe set that standard?
Say 18 feet on length, I think that's.
So double would be
what Denver
36.
is, so.
And if there's a different standard that's used in a lot of places for these oversized spaces, draft that for the first reading of the ordinance, and if folks don't like it, still revise it.
Okay.
I like that. I think you're gonna take the draft ordinance to planning commission, right? So I think if you want to incorporate these other changes in there and then just let them know, and then we can also update council on that. That works.
Perfect.
All right, anything further? All right, I'd like to move to recreational trail sponsorship policy.
Mayor, this is a follow-up to our work session we had in the fall regarding trail sponsorships, where organizations might want to donate towards the construction of a trail. In a lot of cases right now, it's Virginia Canyon Mountain Park. That's the main place we're building trails now, but it could be other trails that might be built in the future. So this, in working with the city attorney, this was a policy that was drafted to guide us in future agreements with organizations that want to donate. Those agreements will be coming back to council, but we wanted to have some guidelines for what is the city's policy on trail sponsorships. So it's a very simple document. It's one page. I have it as an action item under my report for adoption if council's good with it. But again, this is not the agreement that you'll see. You'll see individual agreements. For instance, we're working on an agreement right now with Bojos. So that agreement, this will help guide us in drafting that agreement, and then that'll come back to council. I want to make sure you all are good with the policy.
Okay, questions for Andy?
So this
Sounds
does
like a
not
good idea.
read, this, I don't mind the policy as long as they don't name it, because, you know, the naming was something that we voted on, the town voted on, you know, that was actually a community effort. I don't want them named. I like the idea of the community naming it. I don't want people to donate their way into naming the trail.
But that's what this is.
No, it just references the donor's name. It doesn't name the trail.
Well,
It kind of does.
I'll give you an example. We got $250,000 for truck trails to be able to put that on the signage. I would hope that citizens thought that was a pretty good trail.
It is
$250,000
buying it.
to have a quarter,
It's just
truck
like
trail.
naming a school or an auditorium or a bakery, or not a bakery, like a kitchen or something like that. I mean, look at how many times Mile High has changed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what is the name? I don't even know the name of it, but, oh, is it Mile High? I have no idea.
Is it the new
Empower.
ones or existing?
New ones,
Empower,
yeah, empower them.
Yeah, it would be new
It
trails
would
that
be
are
new ones.
sponsored.
Oh, so the ones that already named. We're not gonna do
They won't be changed, right? That's not part of the, yeah, that's cool.
I don't want an empower trail.
Well, we're not gonna get an empower, but I mean, getting money is nice, I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, I don't wanna give another dime to the park, so if other people wanna give another dime to the park, all good, well, let somebody else
You
pay
know
for
what
it.
though, the decision of city council is final. I don't like this. I don't like the idea that we're selling our trails, so.
I got
that's why
you.
said-
I mean, honestly, you think most of your constituents would think that
I'm
That we're
sorry,
selling
my
out?
decision's about 50-50, so yeah.
they would forgo $250,000 because it said truck trails?
Truck trails is one thing, Empower or Verizon or Comcast, like, if people decide to donate $250,000 and they want to name a trail, it's not a unreasonable ask.
Well, Lisa, if you honestly believe that, then that's your decision.
Yeah, I know it is.
Any other thoughts on the policy itself? Again, any individual agreements for funding that's received will be a separate agreement, will come before council.
And where does the money go, Andy? Because that would be probably the big question that we get, like, where does that money go? Does it go only to the park? Or
We
can
go
it, can it be
toward,
dispersed?
typically, I mean, again, we'll have to see.
Could
what-
that be part of our agreement, that we can use that money like how we choose? Because that would actually make it a little bit more
I mean, the
palatable.
idea is
perhaps
mainly to
to
go
Lisa.
towards, the trail building, but if
Of
you wanted
course.
part of it to go to.
Maintenance, EMS,
That's could be
And
part of the
fire.
conversation.
And I would also just like to tag on, I think it goes even beyond trails, and I'll give you one off the top of my head. I'm thinking about like the Historical Society, the museum over there. I could see, and I'll just give you an example, but perhaps a mining company that we all know very well, giving a sponsorship to have a little kiosk, if you will, about the importance of that element.
over at the history, at the
Yes,
museum.
yes, and I think it would be reasonable if it was sponsored by this company.
Either or,
And that might be a very large shot in the arm for the Historical Society.
sure.
But we could cross that bridge when we came to it. How in your face is this gonna be? I mean,
Right.
we don't want Las Vegas flashing,
Yeah,
right, kind of thing? Is it
Well,
tasteful?
we get the last say on the design, but again, I think that's the one thing, that the element of where that money can go and whether we can. That we have certain places that we want it to go and reasons for that. I think that seems reasonable.
Dylan?
I think another clear place where it could be advantageous would be like the skate park and ball fields.
Mhm.
yeah.
Maintenance, upkeep,
That's a very
rebuilding.
expensive project, and if someone wanted to sponsor the grandstand, you know. that would
Sure.
be The Empower Memorial Grandstand.
We gotta get rid of Empower, because those guys.
That would be something that this policy might make sense for.
And if I might add to that, this policy, this fund document was written at my behest, because Dylan's comment just spurred me to make this note for the council. When Sharon does this, because she just underwent training, on First Amendment and other fun legal issues. When we're talking about real estate space on city property, right, that has content that we are going to, as a city, allow people to put language on, that's regulation of speech. It is, right? So there are constitutional implications and policies like this that are adopted before you make decisions on what kind of speech you're going to allow, are important to set the ground rules, right? And you can, as government, restrict speech. You'll notice this says no political speech, no religious speech. You can categorically exclude certain kinds of speech in a general policy like this, so that you won't be looking at requests to have any sort of political messages on
Right.
trail signs. That you reject out of hand because it doesn't meet the policy. So try to, council, in this policy, make it as kind of reined in to what might be appropriate for trail names as possible. The name of the donor, and then something that might reference or celebrate something that concerns Idaho Springs, a person or an event. Beyond that, other kinds of speech, we're not going to allow that categorically, right? Before somebody comes to you with something particular, so that it passes constitutional. But I would highly encourage a policy like this, if you want to have a sponsorship program at the ball fields or any other kind of city property, we'll do a policy like this for that space as well, just to protect the city.
Gotcha.
All right. Anything further on this one? All right, last one is a Sister Cities proposal. And this is just a very high level view of the Sister Cities program. Been around for many, many decades, since the Eisenhower administration. And the communication in your packet actually is from the Austrian mayor of this Bartholomew, and he likes Colorado. He is an avid skier, and there is a Sister Cities International, which is quite successful. I think there's 2,100 partnerships across the United States. Some cities like Colorado Springs have 7 sister cities, smaller cities, typically like our size. I would imagine probably would just have 1, but you can build it as large or as small as you want. But what really helps is when you have a lot of similarities with your sister cities. And if you had a chance to go online, the similarities are quite striking. In fact, you probably would think of us talking about Idaho Springs. Mining history, gondola, close proximity to 3 ski areas, and mountainous, going up to about 10,000 foot peaks. Although the city itself is about 3,500 feet. Population about 2,200. I would suggest probably when the 4 Points apartments are filled, will be about 2,100.
We should get them to be pin pedals with the kids at school.
Well, actually, Kate, we talked about that today because this absolutely has a commercial component.
Absolutely.
But youth are really highlighted in the Sister Cities program. For example, I was talking with Lisa right before the meeting. Every year, and this is like in big bold highlights on their home site. they have a international author and artist program where it gives young people, and often is the case, their very first international exposure. And they may have critiquing from a volunteer, just to, not to put anybody on the spot, and I'm just saying. Also, one of the checkoff lists are that you have home organizations with similar matches in the other town, reach out and connect. Schools being absolutely one, and that includes Girl Scouts,
You know,
Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
is she?
it is very much encouraged to have a youth ambassador program, exchange students, which Janine, I didn't know they're on their second one.
Yeah,
He lives only a few hours from here in Germany.
That's awesome.
Oh.
And this is in the north west part of Austria. And if you're looking at Innsbruck on the east, and oh gosh, it's almost an equal distance to Swiss.
maybe we can,
Zurich?
obviously. we can
Zurich,
talk
thank
about
you.
this-
Almost an equal distance to Zurich. Thank you for
We
that.
should probably talk about this later, but this would be a great thing for the town to get involved with, like a Facebook page where people, I mean, I'm just thinking from a library, like, what is your town reading? You know, I mean, what books are you guys reading right now? And, you know, here's what we're reading and what we're watching,
And
just to kind of like, you know, crossover stuff.
Kate,
That's fun.
you are exactly right. This really is encouraging citizen ambassadors in the Eisenhower administration when it was first formally kicked off. They were calling it people to people. So for example, you may want to exchange recipes and
Sure.
they with
That's
you.
fun, yeah.
They may be fascinated with library science. I happen to think of Jeremy earlier,
Yeah,
you know,
Fire
because they've got
departments.
some unique, funky things over there and with wildland fire. And we are developing some kind of cutting edge, state of the art stuff here that they would probably be very interested in.
yeah, I think there's a lot of potential, like, this sounds like I don't know how you guys are gonna roll it out to the community, but it sounds like something I think would be very fun.
Well-
Especially if you made it easy, that it's just an internet step and not,
I wanted to get the temperature in the room and we of course would not take any kind of formal action in a work session, but just to prepare you, it is $190 a year for the annual membership. You do get a lot with that. For example, the templates I was talking about with the different organizations, the check off, make sure it's a good match. But I think the State Department in this arena functions regardless of political stripe. This is one thing, thankfully, we can all agree on. So this has not been cut or slashed or anything. It's not a political football for Democrats or Republicans. So I feel very good about the future of this organization. And these are set up to be very long-term relationships. Many of these have been going on for 70 years. So it continues to grow.
how do you say the name of the town?
Okay, I will spell it and I
Because
will
I'm gonna
add
call it Dusseldorf.
Okay,
But
it
if I get
is-
right.
Even the,
Bartholo
Different place.
I had,
Maberg.
I had
Mayberg.
the German student try to pronounce it, and he was even like, this is kind of
Bartholomew.
confusing to
Uh-huh.
pronounce in German.
Oh, and I should tell
So
you,
we're gonna have to come
there
up
is
with
an
something.
there's an excellent video that is translated into many different languages about mining there. And they, I think, are very interested in our like Old West
Pictures and.
well, and the
History.
old gunfights and just the lore that
Gotcha.
went with that. But our mining history, theirs, I will prepare you, goes back 3,500 years in that town, right
Wow,
there.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, the middle of the Bronze Age, so.
I love that.
But anyways, I was comparing prices, for example, and if you set aside airfare, really, I think is maybe even a little cheaper for a ski vacation there than it is in there.
Yeah.
So I hate to say that.
They probably have snow, yeah.
But I do know that their mayor is very interested and I wanted to get the temperature in the room for this. And perhaps next council meeting, I will ask on some formal action, at least to join the Sister Cities International to further explore this is all I would be asking. And any questions that I could perhaps answer at this point? All right, well, I want to thank everybody. Please take 5 for a comfort break and we'll convene here about 5 minutes for regular session.
I'll volunteer to go there.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have a few come here, this summer maybe,
Feeling?
if we go forward.
Yeah. I feel like Leadville as a sister city in Ireland. I remember they had the whole like cities. Yeah. Yeah. That's my George Bob.
I know, you're tricky.
This is very complicated. No.
They were like, are you?
Oh, and Jimmy.
Never. Right?
How are you?
No, it's your hair. I thought you were Kate for a minute. I was like, what is Kate doing over there?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Got with silver sparklers.
Thank you.
Jeremy?
Yeah, mine's low.
Oh.
Hold it up.
No.
Thank you.
It's sit between the ladies.
Congratulations.
Wait for what?
You know, like sister cities.
I'll do like
Like in other cities, like where they have it on the sides. Where it's like Idaho Springs, sister city.
That's exactly.
Yeah, you know, I saw they do a lot of like co-branding, even if it's
Are you waiting?
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So like if you have wayfinding, maybe there's something you can push so that it comes up in German or Austrian,
Yeah.
French.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, I just know I've seen like the signs when I've traveled up to other places. And you send like lists from all, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I mean, it's, you don't have to agree with it. I get where you're coming from. I just want my.
I know.
Anyway, here we go.
Hey Dylan, no rush, but are we good to go?
Yep, we are good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy, you ready?
I think we are. Dylan, we ready? Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, I would like to, thank everybody for coming to the January 26th, 2026, regular, city council meeting for the city of Idaho Springs. We'll call to order 7:06. And, we'll start off with roll call, please.
Sharon Basist.
Here.
Janine Mariani.
Here.
Lisa Manifold.
Here.
Kate Collier. Here. Jim Clark. Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Here.
Mayor Chuck Hartman.
Here. All please rise for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. We have an agenda before us tonight. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the agenda for January 26th, 2026.
Thank you, Janine. And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Jeremy. And any discussion of the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand and signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Does anyone tonight feel they have a conflict of interest? All right, hearing none, I will move on to the minutes. And do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from January 12th, 2026.
Thank you, Jeremy. And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Kate. Any discussion of the minutes?
Just, one in the, Ward 1 council vacancy, I think it was, 224. Cause I don't think Scott was voting for, I think there were only 6 of us on the dais.
No. Well, that's a good catch.
I'll review that and make those changes.
That was it, nothing,
Well,
nothing
then,
more.
thank you.
Good catch. Bartholomew. No?
All right, follow on that there.
Mother.
It was May, it's not May, it's May. Under the.
All right, well, we have a first and a second. Is there anything further on the minutes?
You have to push buttons.
All right, well, all those in favor, please raise your right hand and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have bills before us tonight. And do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the bills through January 26, 2026.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Lisa.
No, it's actually from Sharon.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Sharon.
Alright,
I'm looking out my peripheral vision.
All right, we're gonna let you do the first motion on resolutions and get used to
Good
it.
for
We're all like, you know, black over here.
All right, and a second from Sharon. And are there any discussion or questions on the bills?
I do have some questions. I went through and I saw that we're doing KDVR for 4420, DP Media for a notice of budget for 562, Maria Mitchell, $800 for 2 reels and stories, and Thrive 4 Corp commission for $1,000. Is that all marketing through the business and promotion?
It sounds like it, yes.
It is. The Maria is an influencer. And so I am told that is inexpensive for that level of influencer, but I will be the first to tell you that this is our first venture into the realm of influencers. Yeah, KDVR were the television ads. We actually got some complimentary ones. And there is something else I'd like to add on there too, speaking of complimentary. The billboard sign that you see down close to West Colfax on I-70, we have not paid for since November. Yet it still is up with Idaho Springs, Visit Idaho Springs message on it. So we are continuing to get some free.
Unless you get a bill for that.
No, we're done with the bills on that. So I just wanted to share that good news with you.
Are we tracking the ROI on these?
That's the cool thing with our Placer AI. That's exactly what we're doing.
Because I do advertising and like, we're throwing a healthy amount of money. I want to make sure we're getting our money's worth because, well, but advertising, like you can,
Yeah,
and you don't get anything for it. So while we did double our budget for business and promotion, it can go away really quick with advertising.
at least I want you to know this was in the marketing plan.
Oh, I realize that, but I also know that the Business and Promotion Commission is able to like move things around as like they have that. I've done I've been advertising for 10 years. Like I know how easily advertising runs off the rails. So I want to make sure that we're monitoring our ROI for this.
All right, and we are.
Okay.
I really appreciate that question in particular because, you know, in years past, you just threw enough stuff at the wall and hope something stick. would
You
stick,
can't do that
right?
anymore.
And now, yeah, with Placer AI, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the other one, the county, and I want to give the county credit here. They purchased Placer AI and the other one that actually tracks spending. And then we are being given access to that so we can assess our return.
Okay.
So it's we are in a whole different almost scary kind of reality right now.
Okay.
And
Scary reality check. I think that's an
Credit card
entertainment of the year.
Purchases,
eh,
right? It
Oh,
looks like
yeah.
credit card,
Yeah.
yeah, where they spend.
well, because frankly, your major credit card companies now are ratting you out.
Yeah, yeah.
So Andy, please.
So Lisa, one of the invoices I think you mentioned was actually the notice of budget. So that was not related to.
Oh, I looked up DP Media and they're doing media, so we have to
Okay.
pay to get a budget from them?
No, this.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe I missed, did you, which bills did you mention again?
It's DP Media, it said notice of budget and the charge was
Yeah.
562.25.
Yeah, the notice of budget was not related to the community promotion. That was related to adopting our 2026 budget.
Okay,
That charge.
okay,
Just want to make sure that was clear. The other ones all sounded like community promotion.
okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, well, good questions. Do we have anything further on budget? Then hearing none, roll call, please.
Sharon Bassist.
Here.
Kate Collier. Yes.
Yes.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Mayor Potem Jeremy Jones.
Who are you?
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. And do we have anybody in the audience for public comment? Dylan, is there anybody online for public comment?
I don't have anyone online.
All right, well, then that will conclude public comment.
Chuck, can I just quickly ask Dylan one thing about public? Dylan, can you ever tell how many people watch the council meeting?
If I'm, so obviously if they join directly
Sure.
to Zoom, definitely YouTube, it will say like X number of people are watching.
Like, this is.
Interesting.
Um,
I had a feeling there would be a few people watching tonight.
I will check and see. It says
All right.
2 people watching.
Okay.
And
That's not actually.
I want to welcome Lorraine,
Really is not.
our finance officer's up next. Thank you for being with us tonight.
You're welcome, Mayor. Hello, everyone. I am here to go over the preliminary December 25 financial statements. We always mark these financial statements as preliminary because they are subject to 2 things that could change them. One is the year-end closing process and the accrual of revenues and expenditures that have not yet been received, but bills for work done in December that might be coming in later this month or next month, as well as revenues that have been requested or earned during 2025 that are in process of being sent to the city. And so those types of year-end items can change the amounts, and also anything that the auditor might find. Usually we don't have any adjusting journal entries from the auditors, but that is always a possibility as well. So tonight I'd like to share my screen and go through these financial statements with you. Please let me know if you can see them. I know it takes a minute.
Okay, they're up.
All right, is that large enough?
Maybe a little larger, at least for me.
How's that?
I still can't read it.
2 more, please.
You can't read that. Should I go?
Oh,
That's good.
that's more than good.
Okay, now I've got to find my side view. Okay, here we go. All right, so we always start with this first page, which is your, let me get this out of the way. Your combined cash for all of the operating banking accounts that the town has, whether they're for a specific purpose or general. And at the end of December, those amounts total $1,567,000. And the second part of this report shows which funds owned which portions of those amounts. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble moving it when it's this big.
Sorry about that.
So that's all right. We want you to be able to see it. So down below, it shows that same $1,567,000. At the end of December, the general fund portion of that was 181,000. The ramp fund had the most, and some of the other funds were in kind of a negative cash position where they're kind of borrowing until, from the other funds that have some funds until such time as those revenues come in and reimbursements for grants and large projects that we were talking about. So this highlighted figure here, the 181,000, shows the general fund share of combined cash is the first item on the next page of the financial statements where we look at the general fund. And that is the combined cash amount. There's also some money with the county treasurer that comes in and then gets sent over after a little while. We're usually within about 10 days of the end of the year. You've got some other receivables coming from other grants and taxes, etc. And some property taxes that are collected in arrears, always posted this way until year end, with property taxes receivable equaling deferred revenue. So the general fund at the end of January.
Lorena, I'm sorry, you'll suddenly started breaking up.
Can you hear me right now?
No,
If you turn on your camera, Lorraine, sometimes that helps when you're also sharing a screen, just to have better connectivity.
That's Is that better? Yeah.
it sounds better.
See, bottom half
Oh, no. I'm sorry. You're breaking up like every other syllable, and we really want to hear what you have to say. I don't know if there's anything on our end.
See if I can close some other applications that might be taking too much time.
It's strange because you started out so clear.
Yeah, I didn't anything, so I don't know what has caused the difference. I know I've had some trouble getting into your systems there remotely over the past.
Well, I'm wondering if it might be worth going out and coming back in.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
Can we jump to resolutions while we're waiting? Carmen says yes.
All right.
I'm sorry. What question?
They're gonna go to resolutions while we.
Okay, gotcha.
Sharon, you wanna do it? Want to do your first one?
What am I doing?
All right, resolution, starting with resolution number 5. Do I have a motion?
All right, I'm gonna do it and then watch me.
Okay.
So, I move to approve resolution number 5, series 2026, a resolution adopting city employee job descriptions for public work maintenance supervisor and water facilities lead operator.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Second from Sharon. And any discussion?
I thought those were good. I thought that you guys.
I think it was, I thought they were good.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, not overburdening for
No.
those positions.
No, absolutely. All right, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani,
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes,
Sharon Bassist.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. All right, next up, resolution number 6. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 6, series 2026, a resolution approving a reciprocal access easement agreement between the city and multiple property owners concerning a historic access route in the vicinity of the Virginia Canyon Mountain Park.
Thank you, Sharon. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Janine. Any discussion?
This was very well thought out. Like, this was very detailed. I was very glad to see that because I was concerned when I saw so many property owners, but it was very well thought out.
Yep.
Took a lot of coordination and time,
Oh,
planning, back and
I can-
forth.
I'm looking at Carmen
Carmen
nodding, I'm like, I bet it did, because there was a lot of people involved in that.
And any further discussion?
Mayor, I'd also like to thank Jeremy, Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, yeah.
For helping with this process because he knows some of the people and some of the concerns and some of the things we were trying to address and
Yes.
and some of the adjustments we needed to make to the agreement to make it agreeable to everybody and work for both the city and the property owners. So
Absolutely.
I want to thank Jeremy for helping bring this
Absolutely.
home.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Anything further before we do roll call? All right, hearing none, roll call, please.
Kay Collier.
Yes.
Ethan Manifold.
Yes.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Sharon Sis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. And Lorraine, welcome, welcome. I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully the audio is better.
I hope so too. Is it sounding better now?
Hey, what do you know? The master switch.
Okay, good. Well, let me know if it cuts out again.
All right.
But here we are on the bottom of the second page of the financial statements where we show the fund equity at 12/31/25 for the general fund. And so it has dropped down to a smaller fund balance based on the all the activity you've had during 2025. I think what you'll see when you look at the balance of these financial statements is the concerns that were raised during the 2026 budget process did play out throughout the end of the year of 2025 because of all the projects and spending that's been needed in the city. And therefore, this is one of those years when you've drawn down your fund balances. And so you're, I know in your 26 budget, tightening up the belt to not spend so much money. Going over to the revenues for 2025 that have come in by the end of December anyway, property taxes were a little lower than budgeted, although this is a round number budget. The property taxes in the actual column came in at 215,000, almost 216, which is a little lower than the previous year. And that's not surprising considering some of the things that were happening with the state, but they were higher than the year before that. So they're kind of halfway between 2023 and 2024's amounts. Your sales taxes were lower than the round number that was projected, but again show a good increase to 1,968,000 over 2024, which had dropped back a little to 1,908,000, and still above also the earlier year of 1,923 in 2023. Your other taxes, et cetera, were coming in as expected. Your business licenses came in higher, other licenses and permits than expected. Oops, I think I passed your building permits. I did. It's hard to know what building is going to take place. There's a reason to believe there'd be a fair amount of building during 2025, but there is only about 59 or 60,000 in building permits, as opposed to 203,000 the year before, but it was zero the year before that. So this is a revenue that does bounce around. Moving on to page 4, your other large revenue is from some of the leaseholds that you have with rentals. And your total revenue for the general fund came in at 3.892 out of 4.3 million budgeted. And again, we do have placeholders for what the November and December revenues will be, since you don't actually receive those until January and February. So those aren't necessarily known when we produce these statements. But there's still 12 months worth of actual and a couple of months of estimate in there to equal 12 months. Your expenditures I'm gonna go to page 14 first. And I should have said 12, I'm sorry. And this is the total for the general fund. You had budgeted to have a drawdown of your fund balance during this year, to have fewer revenues than expenditures of 235,000, but with some unanticipated at budget time expenses, there's been a further drawdown than that. And that's one reason why you've been watching this really closely since late in the year, in the fall when you were, and late summer when you were working on the budget. But you'll see that 104% of the budgeted amount appears to have been spent. We'll again take a look at year-end closing and audit, but it's likely that there will need to be a supplemental budget appropriation for the general fund. When you go back through the financial statements and look at each department, you'll see certain items that you'll recognize as having come in over budget, particularly certain capital projects and costs that you were looking at. And one of the largest expenses was talked about during the budget, and that's the increases in insurance. Here in the police department, for instance, the insurance was quite a bit, CIRSA, 335,000, as opposed to what had been budgeted based on previous years during the budget process. We'll go ahead and look at some of the other funds. The ramp fund didn't have much activity this year. It got some interest earnings on that Colorado Boulevard money. Not much was budgeted to be spent. There was just a standing amount in here for 50,000 if needed for asphalt, curb and gutter, but really that wasn't the focus of your activity this year. The improvement fund, on the other hand, is where there was a lot of activity, and it has been used to pay for a lot of projects, but ending by drawing down that fund balance and waiting for some of the grants and other revenues to come in. So here on the next page, you see you got your sales tax that you're expecting by and large. Then down on you've got donations that were unbudgeted for 137,000. Sold a piece of equipment that got some money back. But down here where your revenues are, you can see you had 2.5 million in revenues budgeted for the Shelley Quinn and the police department renovation. And at the end of the year, not all of those projected revenues had yet been received. When they are, then the bottom line will look much, much better. The improvement expenditures were numerous, as you know, starting around the middle of the page with these budgeted amounts. And you'll see that there were about 3 that came in quite a bit over budget, which you're aware of, I know. The trails construction was more than had been planned. And again, these projects that extend over years, you don't always know when you're budgeting a year and a half in advance how much of it will be completed. Some of it has been accelerated and some of it has had higher costs. The sports complex, much higher costs than the original budget. And same with some of the other capital projects like the trails. Keeping an eye on the land acquisition and the police station improvements as well.
Lorraine, my apologies, but you for some reason you just started breaking up again.
Well, do you want me to go out and in again, or would you like to cut to the chase?
Yeah, please continue. I think it's good enough for us to struggle through.
I apologize. Nothing different has happened here where I am, so I'm in my office where it usually works pretty well.
Okay.
The street sales fund has increased during the year in revenues and bottom line. Water fund is suffering with cash as well. Cash flows are low. The revenues from sales tax are as budgeted or pretty close, and so are the user fees and leases. But the grants, again, have not yet come in as expected. So about 3.3 million were budgeted, and by the end of the year, about 1.8 had been received.
Yeah, that's pretty large discrepancy, 3.3 versus 1.8 received.
It is. We hope that you'll get the rest of the 2.8.
Yeah.
Make a difference. Or less on target, 101%, 70%, 82% of budget. And here's where your net revenues again. You budgeted to draw down your balances during the year, but because you haven't gotten all of the grants in yet, you drew down more at this point than anticipated. And the wastewater fund is similar. You've got your revenues coming in more or less on target. But again, you haven't received all of the budgeted amounts for your 2 grants to pay for the Virginia Canyon Road and utility projects.
Yeah.
There's the minus this is not as far in the hole as it had been projected to draw down, but still we want to keep our eye on that and the monies that you want to be getting in. Parking enterprise was okay. You've got, again, 3.2 million in grants budgeted. You didn't have that many expenditures either, but about $500,000 received from the Federal Highway Administration grant. And your expenditures are below the budgeted expenditures too, so that hasn't had a big impact on this fund. But I know that Andy and Guy and I at times have been meeting almost regularly, almost weekly for a while, just watching the grant spending, the expenditures for the projects, and then the requests that have to be made later to the granting agencies being put in right away and then waiting for them to be approved and then for the payments to come. So they've been keeping a close eye on the cash flow for several months. And aside from that, everything else is kind of as you expected and as you've heard before, but here's the preliminary for the year. Still waiting for some of those revenues to come in.
Well, Lorraine, I'm happy to report that somewhere around the wastewater fund, you cleared up 100%. And I know we appreciate you keeping an eye on that, the parking money, because of course we're actively spending more than $2 million of that raised planning grant. And I know we're hoping to rein it in and keep it within a reasonable reimbursement period. But it does make our figures look a little wonky while we're waiting for the money to come in.
It's tough. It's tough when there are big projects and they're paid back on a reimbursement basis instead of in advance. So, and you've been planning so much for so long, and so many of the projects are culminating at the same time. So it's what you're dealing with right now. Hopefully all good outcomes.
I mean, I'm just thinking what you mentioned about the Virginia Canyon road project. There was $1 million. Well, those were almost $1 million a piece, and then of course there's our new police department that's being constructed. So all of these there's kind of a lag with that reimbursement. So I'm I'm glad you can bring us up to speed on these things and why it looks so different here at the end of the year.
Yes, and you will be needing to do supplemental appropriations for the general fund and the improvement fund before the audit is finalized.
Yeah, thank you for that heads up. Any questions for Lorraine? All right, hearing no questions, Lorraine, another excellent job. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I want to thank you very much for coming and spending time with us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mayor. Good night, everyone.
All right, so we have gone through our resolutions, which bring us up to 13 ordinance first reading. And we only have one tonight, ordinance number 2. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve ordinance number 2, series 2026, and ordinance adopting by reference the 2025 Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code, CWRC, including appendices A through C, providing penalties for violations of the same, and making conforming amendments to chapter 10 of the Idaho Springs Municipal Code.
All right, that was a mouthful. Thank you, Janine. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Lisa. And any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Sharon Bassist.
Yes.
Janine Mariani. Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones. Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. We don't have any second readings tonight. We do have our city attorney with us tonight, and Carmen, it's always good to see you. Thanks for coming up. I wanted to check in and see if you had anything further for us tonight.
No, Mayor and Council, I had the, pleasure of coming up and meeting with your new city clerk, your newest council member, to do a little legal training. So figured since I was already here, stick around for the council meeting. It's always nice to see you.
All right. And so the onboarding was for our new council person, and was it also our treasurer?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
good. Okay.
Ms. Kim, the clerk slash
Oh,
treasurer.
excellent. Excellent.
So
Okay.
we all, 3 of us met and had a great legal conversations and debates for almost 90 minutes.
Oh, all right.
Fantastic.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Sure.
Andy, you're up next. You do have a request for action. And do I have a motion?
Move to approve a recreational trails sponsorship policy. That's all you need, right?
Kate, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, second from Jeremy. And any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
I had a.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. Yeah, go ahead,
Um,
Sharon.
We had talked about in the work session about making sure that we have the correct language or maybe changing. So we don't have an empowered trail, so we don't have, is that something that is,
I didn't win this one.
needs to be changed? Okay.
Well, and there's no winning. It was a good discussion. I think we're going to weigh how intrusive these ads are, and that's why I was giving, I don't think any of us.
Actually, you can do it right now. You can say, I mean, so if the trail's like a mile long, it gets a certain amount of sign is that what you're kind of?
Well, I was using the analogy of we wouldn't want a Vegas style, look at me,
Right.
flashing neon, right? So we would have to take it at an individual case. Maybe we have a font and a neutral kind of a color that we're trying to go with. And, you know, we probably would frown on somebody having hot pink and shimmering in the light kind of thing.
Well,
But I think we're always going to have that.
But I'm gonna say that if I'm paying you, the city, a certain amount of money, I'm gonna want my logo on there, and my logo might have hot pink sequins.
that's my-
Well, it's an individual, it's a case by case basis. Andy, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it is a case by case.
Yeah, I think
Change
with
the
the
I know, I
donation
got
that's
you.
proposed, will be an agreement that will come with that proposed contribution. And some of these details can be worked out
Yeah.
And that's
in
not
that
language
agreement.
that we need to figure out now.
Because it's a case by case basis.
Yeah, this is more of an overarching policy to guide the agreements.
Okay.
So
But
we don't wanna
Carmen
make it
did
too
give
specific.
excellent subject matter, like we would never go with somebody wanting to make political statements, for
Sure.
example.
Well,
It
those are,
does
those are
say that
basic
on there,
outline,
it
yeah.
does say no political, no religious, and so I just didn't know if we needed more language to make sure that it is on a case by case, but not, you know, if it's in there, that it is by case, and so that gives us the ability to say no.
I would say this policy council sort of lays the basic ground rules for what kind of text can be on there. I think you're hitting on and discussing now, what about design, and precise content and how it will appear? And I would agree with City Administrator March, those kinds of things will be nailed down individually in agreements. That's contemplated that kind of detail would be in those documents. Beyond this sort of big ground rule, big picture sort of policy.
Thank you for the clarification.
All right.
You bet.
Any further questions? Carrying none, roll call, please.
Sharon Basist,
Yes.
Janine Mariani,
Yes.
Lisa Manifold,
No,
Kate Collier,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Next up, I'm sorry, Andy, before I move on, did you have anything further to share with us?
Nothing further. Thank
Oh,
you.
all right. And next up, Guy, you have one request for action. And do I have a motion?
I'll move to make a motion to support the Clear Creek Center for Art and Education's application for a $150,000 grant from the Rural Economic Development Initiative Program, and to approve the city serving as the fiscal agent for the grant if awarded.
Thank you, Lisa. And do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, second from Kate. And any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani,
Yes.
Kate Collier,
Yes.
Lisa Manifold,
Yes.
Sharon Basist,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. And Guy, thank you for taking that on. That I think is going to be a very worthwhile program for our community and really folks in the county, countywide. Did you have anything further to share with us tonight? All right. Well, thank you very much. Hey, Dylan, just wanted to check in and see if you had anything further to share with us tonight.
Nothing for me tonight.
All righty. And Wonder, how about you? You have anything for us tonight?
No, Mayor, I do not.
All right, well, thank you. Chief, like we like to say around here, never a dull moment. I wanted to check in and see if you had anything further for us.
I just wanted to, council during the last meeting or the meeting prior to that, it was Kate that had mentioned something about the camera system that CDOT's trying out.
Oh, yeah.
So I did reach out to a contact there, and got a good answer, and really they view this as a pilot project, is the way you say it, our first pilot project on Colorado 119. So at this point, they're continuing to gather data and see how that program works. And so I just said, let us know, and we would have interest, especially with this Floyd Hill project.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where that ended up. I just wanted to make sure that
Thanks.
follow up.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for that follow-up.
Yeah.
I actually have something for Chief.
Sure.
If you don't mind. So Chief, just because I was reminded of this when I was reading online, we're about to have a lot of J1 folks, at least I hope we have a lot of J1 folks coming in. And my concern is with what I'm seeing with immigration. How is your department working as far as following Colorado's guidelines and working with ICE? Because our J1 folks are here legally, but that does not necessarily seem to be a deterrent, and I am concerned because they make up a lot of our seasonal workforce.
Right. Well, I want to start this with, things that are happening are obviously disturbing in this country. And, I have concerns as a police chief. I know that the IACP put out a statement about what's happening in this country. We all took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and the word Constitution is in our motto for our police department. Commitment to integrity and safety through constitutional policing and dedication to our community. So with that, Colorado went so far as in 2025 to, through Senate Bill 25-276, which Carmen I pulled up the memo that Carmen sent to us, which really codifies in our statute that municipalities are not allowed to cooperate and give personal identifying information. And basically this says, and this is Carmen's words, so I'll take it from her memo, city staff may not disclose PII, personal identifying information, or make the same accessible, including through a database or network, for the purposes of investigating, participating, cooperating, or assisting federal immigration enforcement actions. So it says this restriction does not limit city employees' ability to participate in or cooperate with criminal investigation. And that's not what that is. That's a civil issue. All right. And then one other comment on this that I think is, well, two. City staff may not inquire into or request information or documents to ascertain a person's immigration status for the purposes of determining if a person has complied with federal immigration laws. So that's an overarching part. And me personally, in my experience in my profession, I want all people to feel safe and want to call and willingness to call for help. So it doesn't matter what somebody's immigration status is. So Colorado has taken steps to reinforce that, and it makes it much easier for us in our profession to say that's how we do it, because that's where we're also required to do that. I do think it's interesting, and I just want to add what Carmen put at the bottom of this, the penalty. An intentional violation of any of the above subjects a city employee to a civil penalty of up to $50,000 for each violation. So, you know, I can empathize with community members. And I am glad that our state and our department have not only the law, but are following best practices. And, you know, it is not fair for us to stop somebody based on the color of their skin. That is not appropriate. And so that's I'll jump off my soapbox, but that's my take on the issue.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I have gotten some very strongly worded concerns from constituents. So I said that I would bring it up with you in public.
I did too, and can I just jump on this really quick?
Go ahead.
Lori Beckel, I guess she talked to you today. She's part of the Democratic Party. They are having a protest on Saturday at Citizens Park from 11 to 12. Am I correct on the time?
I'm not sure on the time.
What's that?
I'm not sure on the
Let
time.
me just verify. Yeah, 11 o'clock, by the Clear Peak Dams. She just wanted me to mention that during,
It's Saturday.
yeah, Saturday.
So, any further questions for Chief?
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
All right, I would like to move to Ed. I am sorry if you're with us. I'm sorry you're under the weather. I want to extend a huge thank you for still zooming in with us.
Go to bed, Ed.
And we have your report, and we all hope that you are on the mend. And I want to see if you had anything further to share with us tonight.
The only thing I would like to share is that I have received nine applicants for the job posting that we put out.
Oh,
Pretty
excellent.
good showing.
Yeah.
I've got 9 of them to dig through.
All right, all
Awesome.
right,
Good
that's
job.
good news.
Get well, chicken soup.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
chicken soup's a good idea. All right, well, if there's nothing further, Ed, thank you very much, and rest up.
Yeah, thank you.
Wishing you a
See you
speedy
soon.
recovery. All right, I wanted to entertain the thought of, normally we don't talk hypotheticals, but, Kate brought up a very interesting thought. The snow has just been ridiculously low.
Yeah.
And it's hurt many of our businesses. Obviously, folks are not coming up the I-70 corridor. And the question that she posed is, what, if anything, are we going to do, if we get into a severe drought situation? And I just want you to know, like, I've had a house here for more than 30 years. And I don't ever remember us having any kind of restriction. And I know some of you already know this, but I'm gonna say this for Sharon's benefit. We have an abundance of water for a community our size. In fact, we even paid some pretty good money to have a 50-year study. And of course, we're pretty landlocked. So we don't have a lot of development potential, but some population increase could happen. So we were assured that even under pretty extreme circumstances, we would have enough water for our people. But that being said, we do lease water to others and downstream users. And I know council appreciates that our water attorney has constructed those leases so that we take care of home first. Meaning that if we have to cut a user off, as much as we would hate to do it, we do have that right. And again, I don't mind telling you, 30 some years ago, even we were on even and odd watering days down in Denver. It amazes me that they've been able to keep approving developments 30 some years later. However, we have not been in that boat. But I just wanted you to know that, March is of course our snowiest month, followed by April, and hopefully we make up for lost time. But I do appreciate Kate bringing this up because, you never say never, and there could be some kind of a crazy, 500-year flood or something. And I will give you an example. The creeks do have minimum flow that they have to maintain. So, right now, we're not planning on anything, but I think all of us should be prudent. We'll keep an eye as March and April unfold on that.
I wasn't really asking specifically for like houses, but I'm a high water, I conserve water. We dump bath water into the backyard, things like that. I mean, we're pretty gray water, big users. I'm talking about fire. Like if we have a major fire coming through town, do we have enough reservoir water that we are going to be able to like even battle the fire, much less beat the fire?
And Jeremy, appreciate your thoughts on this.
As long as we have sufficient supply to the plants, we do, but that's still a finite amount of water, no matter how we do it.
Right.
Because you don't tank storage.
Right.
The Montane Park tank storage will improve that situation drastically. It's pretty marked.
Yeah, it's big. I was up there not too long ago.
But probably a conversation about future development, future tanks. Ed and I have had conversations
On
about.
Pine Slope and stuff like that?
No, on this side of town, like near the Edgar Mine, places like that, to feed that into town. We've had
Gotcha.
some initial conversations about it, but that's something we probably should look at, in
Down the
our
line
future.
when we can.
We're tank water limited by fire water.
Yeah.
Well, it's an important subject. We'll continue to keep an eye as winter continues rolling on. We'll see if we can't make up for some lost time.
And the same with 4th of July, at some point in time, we're gonna have to call it quits on the fireworks and start thinking about other alternatives to our celebration. I know that Denver had quite a few drone celebrations that were super well received, but even if we get water in April and March, I don't think we're coming back from this unless we have a heavy year next year. And from what all the weather reports I'm hearing, the forecast isn't looking good for us. So I don't want to be on the side of super worried about it, but I am extremely worried about it. Like myself right now, I am moving things out of my home. My animals are traveling wherever we go, or we're having somebody there that can evacuate them. That's my worry. And I know that I'm not the
Kate,
only one in my
that's always
neighborhood.
a good idea.
Yeah,
I think all of us should have a go bag.
Yeah.
I get it.
Jeremy, that would be something that would be great to like post now that you're like introduce yourself and maybe the evacuation kind of checklist of things that you should be grabbing or have available.
We've got some stuff out there. We gotta get some more public meetings for ready, set, go and stuff. We've
Okay.
been leading agency now for about 6 years, so.
I mean, I have one. I don't even know where I got it, but it'll be nice to get them out to the neighbors and stuff like that.
We got more we can hand out this year.
Cool. Library's always good too.
Well, before I adjourn, is there anything further from the council before we adjourn? Hearing nothing, we'll call.